Hey guys, as expected, why? Apple released the third beta of iOS 26 for developers yesterday, spurred and made some mainly visual changes in this version. And you can find out exactly what they are and everything you need to know about the third beta in this video. And if you're interested in videos like this one with tips and tricks for the iPhone and other Apple products about the new iOS beta version, then my channel is exactly the right one for you. So feel free to subscribe now so you won't miss any more similar videos in the future. Let's start the video with the update to iOS 26 Beta 3 is relatively a large update. In my case, 5.97 GB on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So really quite a lot, and that has mainly to do with the fact that Apple made some visual changes, and of course had to replace some graphics because Apple revised the liquid glass design. This now has much more contrast and is easier to read. However, this also means that the effect is much smaller. This is visible in the control center, among other places. Once we open this, you will see that the background is now much more blurred, similar to how it was with iOS 18 and previous versions. So overall, it's just much less transparent than was the case with the previous beta version, and we see this not only in the control center, but in the entire system. You can see this especially in the tab, for example here within the App Store app. This one has a lot more contrast. It's more of a white blur like before with iOS 18. Even if we scroll through here, we can see that this glassy effect where the whole thing shines through is actually no longer there. Really, when we switch between tabs here, we still see this glassy effect. Well, that's definitely still there here. But this translucence, this glow, so to speak, this glassiness is no longer present here. Even down here within these controls, where we see our current song and so on, Apple has removed all of that, and it looks more like it did under iOS 18, which I personally find quite a shame. I thought it looked better before. You can read it better. So in the end, it's just a balancing act. This has now been improved in the third beta. In addition to these visual changes, which of course apply to many apps, including the Maps app, Notes, and so on, Apple has GF Course Allsoderstützen. 0 added other changes. Among other new things, new wallpapers and new color variations of the iOS 26 wallpaper, and you can see here that using the dark blue version, just a little bit yellowed here, and I really like it. If we go to the lock screen and select the wallpaper, we can see that we have several options. This is now the shadow variant. Then there is the sky variant, which is the well-known one that came with iOS 26. Then we have halo and twilight. So we can now choose between different versions, and of course also in the light or dark version. This means that this can of course also be adjusted here and think it's really well done. Well, I definitely think the new iOS 26 wallpapers are pretty cool. The new animation on the lock screen when the time changes is pretty cool.